I got an email from someone who purchased my course and he had an excellent question. So much so I want to share the answer with everybody. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com and the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, which is premium private investigator training from someone who's been there and done that. Got this email from Randy in Pennsylvania. And what Randy was concerned about or interested in was the return of service, filing this return of service with the court, which is so important. I talked about it many times. In fact, I have a report over at shadowanyone.com about exactly this, filing return of service. If you go over to shadowanyone.com, type in how to file return of service right in the search bar, like you would with any question, hit enter. And what you're going to find is different articles that I've written. And one in particular, you can see it here. What is return of service? How to file proof of service with the court. And if you click on that, you're going to find a video and an article I have about how to file return of service. Proof of service is the same thing. And an example of what does proof of service look like. And this was Randy's specific question. He wanted to know what this form looked like right in his particular area, right in his county. So what Randy did was he went down to the courthouse, to the clerk of court's office, which is your go-to spot for a lot of stuff. And he said, hey, I'd like to get a copy of the return of service form. And they looked at him like, we don't know what you're talking about. He says, yeah, a return of service form, a proof of service form. Nope, we don't have that. Don't know what you're talking about. So Randy leaves and emails me the question because he wants to know how can he see this in his particular area. First of all, the most important thing I'm going to teach you here is forget return of service file. That, yes, I'm going to cover that completely. But Randy was not dissuaded by going down there and asking a question and having them look at him confused and go. He came home, he found the answer with me, and I'm sure that he's back down there doing the job, doing the work. Don't worry about how you look, what people think. This is not a big deal. As soon as you walk out of the clerk's office, they go right back to eating their sandwich or whatever they were doing, filing papers. They don't care about you. They don't nothing. Do your job, make your money. Don't worry about what other people think. So good on you, Randy, for that. Here's the thing about return of service. The clerk's office does not have a return of service form. They're not the ones that do it. You get that from the law office when you pick up the service pack. Now, if you pick up the service pack at the clerk of courts, it's already in there. But this form is generated by the clerk, not by the clerk of courts, by the law office. It's just one of many forms that'll be in that pack. So the pack will have maybe a subpoena or summons, maybe a restraining order, whatever other things that they want you to serve this person. And the top sheet is going to be the return of service form. That form you hang on to, you serve the rest of the pack to the person, then you go down to the clerk's office and you file that return of service or that proof of service. And so you'll fill it out. There's a few check boxes. Again, check out that article I wrote on it over at shadowanyone.com, but you file it with the clerk of courts and done and done. Piece of cake. That's all there is to it. I will say it's kind of interesting. I got a review on this course, The Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Process Serving. It was a review on Amazon, I believe, and the person, I think they gave it a pretty good review. I honestly don't remember, but I do remember they had that one question that they said, Larry doesn't really cover an affidavit of service. Okay. Yes, that's covered extensively. That's return of service, proof of service, affidavit of service. Those are all the same thing. I cover it completely, of course, in the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Process Serving. I've covered it here. I've covered it in other videos. Don't sweat that. That is a done deed. It's easy. You'll have no problems with that whatsoever. So how does Randy find a particular copy of a return of service in his area? How does he know what that's going to look like? Well, it may vary ever so slightly from law firm to law firm. But if you want to see what it's like, go down to the clerk's office, pull pretty much any file. I like to pull a divorce file because they're interesting to look at. If you don't look at them regularly, that in and of itself will be an education for you. But you could pull a lawsuit or anything else, and just go through it page by page, flip through, and you'll find the return of service or proof of service or affidavit of service, that whatever they're going to call it, you'll find one or many more examples of it in there. And you can have the clerk make a copy of it if you want, but it's not. And again, I have a representative copy over at shadowanyone.com you can look at. But this is not rocket science. It's not terribly difficult. So don't be dissuaded by this. It is such a standard, regular, everyday thing for process servers. Imagine you have any other job in the world. You go in, you swipe your ID card, your company employee card in the time clock, and you push the clock in button. If you don't know, if you've never done that before, you may have questions your first day. Which way do I swipe the card? Is it up? Is it down? How does it go in? Which one is the clock in button? Which one is the clock out button? Where is the time clock? But of course, after a time or two, after that first day, you'll never think twice about it again. You'll be on autopilot with it. Return of service, as much as anything in process serving, there's safety issues involved. Don't put yourself totally on autopilot. But return of service is a very simple thing you'll do over and over again. You'll fill out the form, you'll sign it, you'll file it, and you'll be done. If you like this level of training on everything around process serving, don't miss the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Process Serving, which is now a streaming course online. It means you get instant access to it. Middle of the night, you figure whatever, now's the time for me to learn, or now I got my paycheck and I'm ahead this week. I'm going to, I'm finally going to invest in myself and get that course available to you instantly. If you can find that over at shadowanyone.com/PS. There's a bunch of information about it, and I think there's like an add to cart button. You click that, it brings you to another page. You can review everything before you check out, before you pay, see all the lessons that are involved. It's a great course. Plus, it's money back guarantee, 1 full year money back guarantee. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email like Randy did. In the meantime, remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.